me? I think you can. I see already some people 10 minutes in advance. So, hi Diane and Marta, and hi Tammy. Hi Nilu, Shoshana, beautiful name. Hi Sean, hi Marty, hi Sarah Rai, hi Cats, hi SB, hi Claudia, hi Emil and Carol, and Eileen, and Margaret, and Gloria, Trisha, hi Carol Sue. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, NFG. Hi, Jonathan, Ivana, Anne from the US who loves to fly, I think. Hi, Joy. Me too, by the way. Hi, Marit. Hi, Natalie. Welcome in Amsterdam. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Muklas. Hey, we have a guide from Indonesia. Welcome, Muklas. You're very welcome, of course. Check out his tours, by the way, if you didn't do that. Hi Shirley, hi Cindy, hi Robin and Karen and Adrian, hi Vera. So now it's cool to have Muklas over here. I did several of his tours, and as you maybe know that the Dutch we had some colonies, and one of them was Indonesia, and so we have a lot of Indonesian influence also in the Netherlands. And the interesting thing is that when I've never been myself in Indonesia, it's high on the list. Um, but I really learned several things from Muklas when I was joining his tour. That a lot of the things in Indonesia, for example, the names that are using for like a bicycle, for example, is still the Dutch name, and also several of the Dutch traditions you can still see. So. I can really recommend, and one of the good things that we in the Netherlands still have from Indonesia, and that you also have in Amsterdam, and also, by the way, in other cities, is the food. So I can always recommend, I'm even saying to people, if you're coming to Amsterdam, if you're coming for the Dutch kitchen, nah, it's a little boring. It's a little boring. I mean, we're not so proud of our own kitchen, or I'm also not very proud, but the Indonesian kitchen is really one of the best ones in the world. So I think we even have more Indonesian restaurants than Dutch restaurants in Amsterdam, at least. So I can really recommend that. So if you're coming, just don't try the Dutch food because it's all potatoes and more potatoes. But try the Indonesian food. So it's not like Claudia, like in Italy, that you think like, oh, the food everywhere is good. No, 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 no. So we are eating here a lot of. Wait one moment. So wait. Oh fuck! I'm still getting messages. I forgot. I forgot the things. And Muklas is saying, I love croquette and spekkoek. Okay, yeah, croquette is more Dutch. Spekkoek, they're saying over here that it's from Indonesia. So I don't know. I don't know. So, hi Matthew. Hi, a lot of other people in the meantime. You can see it is a beautiful day. I'm wearing my sunglasses. That's a long time ago. That doesn't happen too much in the Netherlands. So, and even less in Amsterdam. Hi Deborah, also welcome. Even less in Amsterdam because a lot of times it's gray and rainy, but we now already have several days where it's beautiful weather. It's about 22, 21, 22 degrees Celsius. I never know what that is in Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. I still don't know the trick for that. I know the trick, but I'm not so good in maths. So, hi Samara, also welcome, and Cindy. Near 70, yeah, but that can be, it's a good temperature. It's just a temperature that you can have like your short sleeves and you don't have to have a jacket anymore. But in the evening time, it's still sometimes necessary to have to have a jacket because in the evening it can still be colder. But it's the best, by the way, also one of the best months of the year if you want to come to the Netherlands one day. Um, then I can recommend do that in May or June. Most of the time, these are the most beautiful months of the year. I mean, you're just behind the tulip season. Okay, that's true, but the weather is better. So let's see, what do we have? 5 minutes before starting. And good morning, Russ. Hi, Huge. Hi, Colleen, Chelsea, Cheryl, Anita. from Latvia. Ross from Ground Zero or nearby. I don't know. I may be missing. I may be missing a conversation already. Hi, Claire from Claire. Let me see, the UK and Ireland. So you are half Irish, half English. I don't know. Just hi, Jackie. Also welcome. And you love trees, Claire. Sorry, that's I'm just looking at these little emoticons. I love it that nowadays we can see in the new app that also the guides can see your little picture. It's very tiny, but at least. Hi, Wendy, and yes, Lydia. No, this time no music. I'm sometimes wanna do something else, and otherwise it's getting a gimmick. So, but I you know that I love music in my tours, and I love also to start sometimes with it, but not every day. Or not every tour. And for today, yeah, of course I can play Amsterdam music or Dutch music, but I don't know. I think if I'm gonna play Dutch music, it's a little the same as with the food. So I think that I see my number of people that are joining is like, oh my god, that music, I'm going away again. French music, that's better. That's better. Yeah, that's true. So hi, Christina from Alberta and Canada. Also welcome. Hi, Grazina. I'm sometimes doing my sometimes like this because it is my screen is I turned it down a little because I'm in the shade. Maybe I have to be in the sun, then it's getting better again. I never know. Hi, Patty. Hi, June. Hi, Deb. So, oh, thank you, Charlotte. I can just look to the. That's sometimes, by the way, the thing that we're now so used to our phones. It's I don't know if in other countries the same, but in the Netherlands we all have one app on our phone. I think that's one of the most downloaded ones, and that is the weather. That is the rain radar. So the rain radar. The rain radar is literally exactly. You can exactly see the coming 2 hours, I think, or 2 to 3 hours. You can see exactly, okay, 15 minutes from now it will start raining, and then 20 minutes later it will be dry again, and then an hour later, um, it will rain again. So that is the weather app that almost everyone has, and sometimes even people are seeing like, oh, on my weather app it's raining. So you don't look outside anymore. You're not gonna check. No, it's raining now. So technology makes us also a little lazy sometimes. Hi, Zena. Hi, Dolores. Hi, Leah. I maybe missed some people that were joining in the meantime. So you can see I'm standing in the city center of Amsterdam already. And Shana, it is a Dutch app. So it's a Dutch app called, we're calling it Buienradar. It's literally only about the weather, about the rain, about the rain. So exactly, Natalie is writing it down right now. Dankjewel. Hi, Christy. So I see that the weather is the temperature is higher than in some of your countries. That's good to know. That doesn't happen a lot in the Netherlands. So we'll start in 2 minutes from now. No. So I hope everyone has a good day today. My day was quite busy because tourists are coming back on in masses. So it's really crazy. The whole day is over here. So you maybe see that's why I'm wearing my sunglasses. You see under my eyes. That's because of the short nights, very short nights. I'm working too much for people from the US and Canada. So that means my working days, a lot are until 2 a.m. or even later sometimes. So. Oh, you've been watching the Jubilee, Shoshana. Okay, that's nice. I can maybe tell you later a little about maybe later a little about the Dutch king and queen. So there are a lot of things that I can tell you. So also, let me know if you have any questions about Amsterdam or about what we're gonna see, and then of course I can tell a lot because we're starting in 40 seconds, and I will tell you a little more about that. Hi, Williams. Hi, Stephen. Good name. Hi, Doris. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Zelda. Deborah. Whoa, there's a lot of people are now joining. of course, a minute in advance, so maybe another tour is just ending. I saw that my colleague Patrick is Patrick in Paris is just doing a tour. I can really recommend, by the way. He will do later. Is it this week? No, start of next week. He will do a whole series of tours about D-Day. So he's going to the different beaches where American and English and Canadian soldiers were going to. So hi Wonder, hi Judy, also welcome. Hi Trist. I don't know if I pronounced it on the right way. Sometimes it's just my Dutch accent, or I don't know if I have to do it in Dutch or French. Or oh, thank you, Sarai, for sharing the link with Patrick. Hi, Carolyn, and it's time. I could already hear it because I was hearing the church bells chiming. That's one of the nice things if you're living in the city center of Amsterdam. That every 15 minutes you will hear somewhere some church bells. And sometimes on some locations, it can even be that you're hearing three or four churches nearby, and they're not exactly at the same time. So I'm now hearing already another one. So that is, and most of them, by the way, at nighttime, they don't make sound anymore. There's only one. That's the Western Church. That's also making sound during nighttime. So every 15 minutes. So I know people living nearby, and they all say like you have to get used to it because otherwise, if you're not, yeah, otherwise you will be awake every 15 minutes if you're living nearby. So, okay, my name is Stefan. I'm a tour guide in the Netherlands and also in Belgium, but my hometown is Amsterdam. I've been living here the last 15 years now. Yeah, it's now 16 years already. Um, and in these 16 years, I know the city quite well. I've been guiding here as a private guide mainly for the last 5 years now. So 3 years before COVID, and now it's coming back. And I also sometimes, by the way, doing a bike tour. So this morning I was doing a last minute bike tour because we had a shortage of a guide, and so I have 9 people with me in a bike tour through Amsterdam, and it was quite busy. So, but I love to do it. Hi, people that are just joining also. What I'm gonna do today, because I was thinking about my tours in the last 2 months, almost all of them were outside of Amsterdam. So it's time to go to my hometown again and to show you something of Amsterdam. And I'm gonna do that. And I'm sitting here on one of the old canals, by the way, a canal that is not a canal nowadays anymore. It's called the Nieuwezijds Voorburgwal, and I will now also change the screen and gonna tell you the rest while we are walking from location to location. So I'm here on the newest Voorburgwal, an old canal. It used to be water here in the middle. And by the way, the nice thing is that it used to be water. Then somewhere in the 19th century, they filled it up. They made a road, and in the 60s, it was even 3 lanes of cars that could come over here. And nowadays, what they're doing is they are bit by bit removing the cars from this area. And you can still see a car that's now temporary, but soon all the cars will be removed over here and it will only be for bicycles. You see the big bike lanes here. So this is not for cars, this is for bicycles and for the tram. So that's one of the things that will change. And I'm standing here next to a building. Next to a building. Yeah, bicycles only. Bicycles and pedestrians, by the way, also. And I'm standing here next to a building that is called het Amsterdam Museum. Het Amsterdam Museum. And het Amsterdam Museum is part of, is nowadays in an old orphanage, an old boys orphanage. And this boys orphanage was started in the 17th century after one of the big city fires. So mainly in the 16th century, but still some in the 17th century. So 500 to 400 years ago, there were several big city fires, and in one of them, a lot of people died. So we had a lot of orphans. So they were building this building over here where we're standing for all these orphans, for the boys, by the way. So for the girls, there was another place. And what you can also see over here, and let me zoom in a little, is the Amsterdam coat of arms. A very famous coat of arms worldwide people know this about the three crosses, and there are a lot of stories, by the way, about where this is coming from. The historians don't know exactly the right story. So that also means that there are several myths about it. But one of the stories where I think that can be the one is that the Amsterdam is formed in nearby the Amstel River. So on the borders of the Amstel River. So one of the stories goes that the two red parts that we see on the both sides that is the land. The black part is the Amstel River. Now, the water quality was not all the time very good. And the crosses are the three fordable places where you could go to the other side of the river. So, and why do we think this is one of the solutions? Because several other little villages nearby have the same type of coat of arms, only then with one cross or two crosses. So, alongside the same Amstel River. Okay, we're gonna walk a little in the meantime. Hello, everyone that is just joining. Okay, one moment. So it's good to wave. Let me just wave back. Hello, hello, hello. I'm here. But it's really a beautiful day. So it's a beautiful day also to see the city of Amsterdam. You will see that there are a lot of people in the streets. Not maybe in this street, but in some of the areas where we will go to, we will see a lot more people. Okay, then one of the other things, and I have been telling this more often in on tours that I've been doing on the bicycle. But for a very long time, Amsterdam, when Amsterdam was built, you have to imagine the city. Oh, by the way, that's a good question. Who of you know how old is Amsterdam? It's one of these questions that a lot of guys are using. That give me a year. Give me a year. Guess a year in what year Amsterdam was started. While we're looking here at some things that I will tell you about soon more. 1540, 1452. Okay, I see. 1125, 1450. Oh, there we have two times 1450 and 1452, Russ. 878, 1589. 1666. Okay. Oh yeah, you saw that. I think you saw that on the side, or not? 1666. There's over there. 1975. 1270. Okay, I don't. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and I'm now gonna say that Charlotte, you are the one most nearby. To be precise, it's 1275. And 1275, it's not completely honest, because that was the moment that for the first time they were seeing the name Amsterdam somewhere on paper. So most probably they have been living here already, people for a longer time, but that was the first time. So they were building this. They were building this city, and I can show you a little image, a little map. I love maps, by the way, and I love this new function. So this is one of the maps of the old city center of Amsterdam. So you can still see, if you open this picture, you see in the middle there are a lot of ships laying in front. Then there is the river Amstel. That's where the name Amsterdam is coming from. So it was literally the dam in the Amstel River, and that's where, around the river, that's where they were starting to. Yeah, you won, Charlotte. Uh, no, that was where they were starting to build, and the first people over here, they were fishermen, and later on, more and more people that were trading. Whoa! I almost got hit by this. I was just standing under it, so part of a life tour. No, the first people that were starting to live over here were merchants, first fishermen, later on merchants. And you have to imagine that in the 13th century, 14th, 15th, 16th century, most people in Amsterdam couldn't read or write. So what they were doing, what they were using to know where they were living. They were using these cable stones, and we're now standing in front of several of these cable stones that were originally from houses in Amsterdam, and they were used um, by different families. So, for example, over here, this is a one that's a little easier to recognize. We have the image of an otter. So most probably, the family that was related to this was doing something with otters. So maybe they were using the skin, the fur of the otter. And there's another one over here with the raven, the zwarte raaf, the black raven. It means. And there are a lot more and a lot more over here. This is the collection of the Amsterdam Museum. In the meantime, I don't know why, but my screen is almost completely dark. It is sunny, but yeah, there we are again. And then over here at the other side, we have a lot more. So, and I always love the one that we can see over there on the top. So, I don't know if you can recognize this. De grote kies in Dutch. The grote kies, yeah, exactly. It's a big tooth. So most probably this was from a family. No, I know it for sure. This was from a family of dentists. So they were using that above their door. So for a very long time in Amsterdam, if you were saying, if someone was asking, where are you living? Then you were saying, oh, no, I'm living on the second bridge and then to the right. And if you then see the house with the big tooth, that is my family home. Or the house with the otter, for example. So it was a very, it was a beautiful way of reminding. And then over here on the side, we see there's another tour guide. Here at the side, we see a nice gate from the year 1634. That's one of the nice things of Amsterdam. That thank you, Natalie. That's one of the nice things of Amsterdam. They place the year everywhere, so it's for us guides very easy to. We don't have to remember all these names. But this was the entrance to one of the entrances to the orphanage originally, and nowadays there's a museum. And yes, Deborah, all these plaques, all these gable stones, as we call them, or in Dutch kevelstenen, they were all placed on houses. Some of them are still there, but what happens sometimes is that they were renovating houses in the time that they were not protected yet, and then they were removing these things. Like, why do we need this? So the museum later collected a series, and they were thinking, let's give it back and place it here on the walls. Okay, and then I also love this little, thank you, Becca. And over here we have this beautiful shop, Posthumus, and it even has a nice sort of a plaque because it is even a royal, it's even a royal shop, and you can be a royal shop if you are there for more than 100 years. And this shop is there for more than 100 years. And what they're selling is also something very old-fashioned. I mean, they're selling over here, they're selling stamps. The old-fashioned stamps that we were using in the old times. Now, you can, of course, still use it. And it's, by the way, a very fun way to do it. But you can buy a stamp here from your company, for example, if you still use letters. So, and I love it because this place over here is already here for a very long time. And now they even have internet and you can do everything online. But yeah, it's and over here again, yeah, it is now behind the. So you can see it behind. This is the royal plaque, and that means that they are here for more than 100 years, and that they are allowed to work for our king and queen. So, and over here we still see some of the old stamps that you can have, and you can even get a feather to write. I love that. I tried it when I was a kid, by the way. I was not so good in it. And over here, by the way, that's also if you really love that. So, yeah, I can imagine, Dolores. It is a beautiful shop itself because they have a lot of the old-fashioned ways, and if you really had a lot of money, then you could have it with more feathers. Yeah, feathers seals everything. So you can also buy the things to literally seal it, and that's over here, by the way. Look at this. Here you have the old seals, so you can officially really close your letter. Okay, time to do something else. I'm now going to a little part that's a little busier. Well, the side streets are still quite beautiful. Ceiling wax. Yeah, sorry, that's how you call it. Thank you, thank you, Cindy. That's sometimes I'm not coming up the right word. So, okay, I'm now passing one of the now going to one of the side streets, and we're passing one of the big shopping streets in Amsterdam called the Kalverstraat, the Young Cow Street, basically. And yeah, there's a Lego store with a windmill. Wow, what do you want more? They always have something else in the. Oh, I love this. It's not completely how I would design a windmill, but it is a nice Lego variation. And look at this. How Dutch can it be? We have over here old-fashioned Lego Dutch lady with some cheese and some tulips and a windmill. This is the Netherlands. I'm trying to get myself outside of the screen. A little hard, but it's lovely. Okay, I'm getting through this narrow street and look at the Lego tulips. So, but they were just normal tulips, Paula. Tulip season is over, so I'm not gonna say these were the triumph one. No, what I want to say about this street is nice. If you look at the down and then going to the top, you see that the houses are slightly coming more nearby each other. So they're all a little. Going to the other side. I'm now on one of the bigger streets, and again, also this street for uh, for a very long time. This wide street where we're walking right now had uh, two lanes coming from that way, two lanes going that way, two lanes coming this way, four lanes next to each other. Now, since 2 years, there's only one lane for cars left. All the three others are gone, so there's only a place for us to walk, to cycle, to take the tram. Yeah, okay, there's one lane still for cars, but that's it, not more. Okay, let me. You can see that there are a lot of people sitting outside because it's such beautiful weather today. And I'm getting over here. And that's, by the way, also one of the things that we're saying in Amsterdam. And we had elections not so long ago, and we literally voted for the political parties that had the plans to make even more of these streets car free. So, what types of trees were removed to make the street? No, there's nothing removed. Only the asphalt is removed. So, and they placed even more green back, and of course also a lot of places where you can sit outside. So, what our local government is saying is we're giving the streets back to the people, because people don't want to ride their car in the streets. No, they want to sit outside. They want to play in the green. Uh, so there are play gardens. There are okay, but one thing we will not remove. Of course, the bicycle, the places to park your bicycle. This is just a tiny place. And yeah, bicycles are stolen. That happens a lot. So what you have to do all the time is making sure that you have your bicycle locked with two times. So two of them. And by the way, this one is, I think, there's even an alarm. Oh, alarm is not working. I was trying to activate the alarm, but I think his battery is empty because this is a very modern one with an alarm normally that's going like beep, beep, beep. But okay, next time. Okay. Oh, I did miss one of the newest monuments that we have in Amsterdam. So over here you have all these Amsterdam canal houses, typical houses uh, with the beams and the hooks and these all these beautiful houses like what you see everywhere in Amsterdam. And then we have over here one from a little newer. So let me get a little more. I have to go over the terrace. Yeah, let me see if I can get it better. Over here, look at this house over here. Oh, there's a lot of sun now coming. Look at this house over here. I can even do an Adam shot or vertical shot for you. I don't know. And I will explain the hooks, don't worry. But it looks out of place or not. Yeah, a lot of people are hating this building, and because it's all, but it's also a lot of people are loving it. It's something typical from the 80s, and the architects over here in the 80s they decided, okay, we wanna redesign the canal house, the Amsterdam Canal House. So we're using some of the shape still, but then in our own way. And also some people are thinking it's like a big robot, like a big robot. So you see two eyes over there and like a beep beep beep. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but yeah, it is. It is now. It is the newest monument, so it is protected now. So I have mixed feelings. Yeah, I can completely understand the mixed feelings. I have the same. Okay, I'm gonna walk you into uh, the oldest part of the city, or an older part of the city. And one of the interesting things is that when I'm showing you this newer building, uh, it is of course something of the 20th century, the end of the 20th century, so the 1980s. But what a lot of people forget is that a lot of the houses that we see over here in this row are also from different times. So, for example, the higher building over here that we see is from the 19th century. It's in a completely different style. Then next to it, this house is from the 17th century. This house is from the 20th century. And then we have over there again a house from the 17th century. Also the two on the corner. So it's a complete mix of different styles next to each other. And yeah, uh, we now maybe hate the 1980s building, but most probably in some years from now, or maybe in 100 years from now, they say like, wow, that style, that's what we love. That's what we love about that strange 20th century when all these people were making these beautiful buildings with glass and steel and everything. We never know. Okay, in the meantime, and I will tell you more also about the hooks, don't worry, don't forget. Over there we have a statue, and this is our old queen. So we didn't have any jubilee. That's only in the UK. The last what is it? The last days, not days. But over here we have our most famous queen, Queen Wilhelmina. She's sitting here on her horse, like how they were doing that in the old days with kings and queens. They're always rising above you with the Dutch flag next to it. We can also see her name from going down, Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina is still, I think, the most famous queen that we had, and that's mainly because she was our queen. She was our queen during the World War II. So she was the one who was fleeing outside of the Netherlands, but was giving us hope. was giving us hope that there would be a better time. Another thing that we have over here is at the right side, we have the water. This is not a canal, but this is the end of the Amstel River. The end of the Amstel River, you see that the tourist boats are back over here. This one is empty, but no, this is the end of the Amstel River that we have over here. The river used to go all the way to this way, to the other side, but it's not there anymore. So what they did already 800 years ago is remove placed the dam square, placed the dam in the Amstel River, and from that time on, the river was stopping over here. Of course, with river, it's flowing, so it's still going around like these little canalways. So there is still current. Okay. Let's walk into the older part. I'm gonna try to find a location where it's a little calmer. And over there, by the way, this always feels for me a little like Venice, with these smaller canals at the side. And look at the outdoor seating over there. There are only two little places. One is a Mexican restaurant, and the other one is a place where you can get, I think, the best cakes in Amsterdam. And I love this view. Oh, just let's do a vertical shot too, an Adam shot. Okay. And of course, everyone wants to eat there. I'm hearing people behind me saying, "Oh, that's the first place over there." Well, I don't think so. Okay, I'm walking through the street, and which typical cakes? Now, Claudia, I will show you. I will show you. It's cake and quiches that they have over here. And I want to give you the idea. The place over here is called the Last Crumb, or in Dutch, the Laatste Kruimel. And look at this. How many? They have a lot of scones over here. They have vegan muffins, strawberry rhubarb crumble cake, and a lot more vegan croissants. And then the other side, I mean, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Is they have a lot of quiche, and the French quiche with different variations. Sorry, you see my gimbal, but this is a perfect place if you are vegan or vegetarian. And hi Pam, welcome. I didn't see you. And also the place inside is really lovely. It's one of these tiny little Amsterdam houses. Really, so, and they are searching for people. They are searching for people for new stuff. So if you want to work here, then you can all have these cakes yourself. Okay, let's walk a little further. Your kind of place, yeah. Promise me if you're gonna work there that you're walking or cycling to work every day. Don't use the car, because otherwise. And over here at the left side, we have some of the famous, even three in a row, of the famous flower bikes that we have everywhere in Amsterdam. This one is from the tattoo place, originally from an American artist from Florida named Walt, or we call him also the Flower Bike Man. And what he is doing is he is making all these gorgeous flower bikes. And here we have two other ones. You can see them in different colors, in pink and in purple, next to each other. You like the purple one? Yeah, I also like the purple one. So, oh, there's even a more subtle one over here. behind rows of bicycles. But it's oh, Joe, you're asking about why Amsterdam became a world center of diamonds. Yeah, that's not a very easy and fast question, but basically, you have to do my Jewish tour to to learn about that. But I can tell you just in short is that after the expulsion of the Jews in Spain in 1492, a lot of them came to Amsterdam. So because over here they were free to do whatever they like to do. So they were coming over here, and they were free for a lot of things, but they were not free to do every job they wanted. So most of the jobs had very strong um, unions, and they were saying like, we don't want new people that are doing the same job anymore. So the Jewish people were searching for new type of jobs, and at the same time, and you can hear that by the way, also um, in the tours of Sayuri in Brazil. The Dutch had part of Brazil, and they were finding some diamonds over there, and they were starting to do things with diamonds, and there was not a guild or union yet for the diamond workers. So the Jewish people were saying like, okay, we will start doing that. And it was also sort of uh, uh, very smart, because the Jewish people, a lot of them were coming from Spain and Portugal. They were talking Portuguese and Spanish, and in Brazil they were talking Portuguese. So they understood the locals a lot better than the Dutch people. So they decided to start working in started working in the diamond industry. So and yeah, Lydia, in New York City, that's after. Yeah, that's also because Jews were fluing. That's true. Okay, and then you see also some of the houses over here. This one is from the 16th century. So we saw a lot of houses from the 17th. This one is from the 16th century, and you can recognize it because the windows over here are a lot smaller. Because in the 16th century, we could not make big windows yet. So you can see over here they placed later on the window in front, but the one at the back, that were the original windows, and also the ones that you see on the top. And yes, I can do a whole tour about diamonds, and also how important they were for Amsterdam, and the connections with South Africa, by the way, also a Dutch colony, the connections with New York, New Amsterdam, the connections with several other locations. So, but let's go on, because otherwise I will never finish this tour. And look at this. Look how beautiful. And thank you for following me, Deborah. Look at this little canal over here. This is one of the, together with the one where we were before, one of the first canals in Amsterdam, called the Oude Zijds Achterburgwal. That literally means the old side behind wall canal. Thank you, Anna Margaret. And this is one of the most beautiful canals. Let me again do a shot vertical with a beautiful reflection. We're lucky that it is like this. Okay. Um, now and then, some people were asking before. Some people were asking before. Can you tell a little more about the typical Amsterdam houses? And let me do that. Let me do that. So let's walk a little this way. By the way, this is over here in the corner is the Amsterdam University. So the university started over here. They're making a little too much sound now, because otherwise I would go to the other side already. But let's go. And for example, take the houses here at the other side. The typical Amsterdam Canal houses, the houses of traders and merchants. And all these houses of traders and merchants, they were, thank you, Marta and Grazina. No, these houses were built mainly in here, over here, also 16th, mainly 16th or 17th century. And what happened is that the traders and merchants themselves, they were living on the ground floor. And all the upper part, ground floor and sometimes first level, and all the upper parts were only used for storage. All for storage, all for storage. And at the same time, they had to pay taxes for their house. They had to pay taxes for their house, and it was based on the width of their house. So the wider your house, the more tax you had to pay. So people did not want to pay a lot of taxes, so they were making their houses quite narrow. If you think about rich people, the houses are quite narrow over here. And storage was on the top because that was also dry and safe, so nobody could reach it. They reach it very easily. And what they were doing, because of both the ground prices plus the taxes that were so high, they were making also very steep stairs. If you're going inside an Amsterdam house, and maybe some of you have been there, then you know that the stairs are crazy steep. So you will not try to get your stuff over the stairs to the top. And that's why they designed in Amsterdam another system, a trolley system, to get all the stuff up and down. And that's the beams and the hooks that you see on almost every Amsterdam house. Newer houses, older houses, they all have, like over here, which you can see again, they all have these typical beams and hooks to get the stuff to the second, third, and fourth level. That's also, by the way, why the windows are so big. The windows are so big for two reasons. The first reason is to get your stuff inside still. That's the first reason. And the second reason is most of the houses, because of the taxes again, were very narrow and but very deep to have more living space. But you can imagine if you have a very deep house that you don't see, that you don't have any light in the middle anymore. So that's why they made these windows very wide to make sure to have light in the middle. And Joe, yeah, there is an unbelievably narrow house. There are several ones even. And one of them, or some of them, I think the smallest one is in total 1 meter 60 only. So, by the way, here again, the typical Amsterdam, not Dutch, the typical Amsterdam coat of arms. So we see it again. That's where we started. And look how beautiful also the area over here is. Okay, I'm going through. The sound is gone. I think they just cleaned the little gate here for us, or the little hallway for us. So we're now getting in an area that is called, it's now part of the university, but originally this was called the Oude, or they're still called the Oude Mannenhuispoort, the Old Man's Gate. That's the translation. And because originally in this house, this was a retirement place for old men. And one of the other things, not only that, already in the 17th century, it started over here, that people, traders, were starting to trade books. And you see over here on the side, there are several locations, and all of them, now that we are very late, so there's not a lot anymore, but we can still buy some books here at the end. And what we know, so just to give you a little feeling, a lot of them are old books, and if you are into books, this is heaven for you. This is really heaven. They're now only open 2, the rest not anymore. But it's a beautiful, really a beautiful location. And what they say is that one of the most famous painters, he was for 400 days in total in Amsterdam, the painter named Van Gogh, and he loved to come over here to search for books, but also for cheap paintings to get inspired. And by the way, this is now how the inner courtyard is looking. So the left side, or the right side, there's the university. At the left side, they are just apartment buildings. So people are actually living over here. And then you have a little place for your kids to play just in the middle. And also, it's so calm over here. It's immediately calm when you're getting in the middle of the houses, then the sound is